2020 Texas Gladiators needs a schlong in it. Guys, I really thought, for some reason, I was actually going to see, like, a legit, like, great movie. But, like, the joke is on me, and the joke started the second I heard the title. The movie we're talking about today is from Severin Films. Severin has the most schizophrenic movie catalog I've ever heard of. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on 2020 Texas Gladiators. Let's say that again. 2020 Texas Gladiators. So listen, the name Joe D'Amato is not actually that foreign to me. I'm familiar with Mr. Joe D'Amato. Now, at first glance, when I looked at this, I was like, wait a minute, this is directed by Kevin Mancuso. Let me look him up. Guess who Kevin Mancuso is? You guessed it. Joe D'Amato. So the guy who did Anthropophagus and Absurd is the director of 2020 Texas Gladiators. Now, when I hit play on 2020 Texas Gladiators, the proverbial pie in the face started immediately, because I was thinking this is going to be some kind of like badass, legitimate action movie. Why, I don't know. But we're greeted to this, what looks to be a drug-addicted homeless person running through this guttural canal that looks like a zombie. And sure enough, I'm like, this is a movie with zombies in it. No. What it is, it's a post-apocalyptic world in the vein of like a Mad Max. And this guy looks like he dunked his head in a bunch of mud. So right away, we have a Texas Gladiator come out and throw a knife in the guy's face, and he looks like, it looks straight out of an Italian zombie movie, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But then we go to this used car lot parking lot with big columns, and it's overran with a bunch of homeless freakazoids covered in mud and clay with pants on, and they've got a bunch of nuns hostage. Now, these nuns are pinned up against, the walls and stuff, and they are going to town on these nuns. They're just going to town on them. And here come the gladiators. Now, the gladiators come in, and they're coming to save the day. And sure enough, after the gladiators get rid of all these freakazoids, these bums, in this post-apocalyptic world, one of the gladiators he can't help himself. He sees one of these babes and immediately starts to try and grape the woman. This is the first 5 minutes of Texas 2020 Texas 2020 Gladiators. So after that, they get rid of that guy. He's kicked out of the Gladiators. So now he's out. So they take this blonde-haired girl, who's our now damsel in distress, and she becomes a part of the Gladiator crew. But what happens is the Gladiator crew find out that there's this new regime that's going to be taken over. And this is where my jaw hit the floor, because this still doesn't happen very often in movies, much less in general. They run into a ragtag group that take over the Gladiators, and they take this blonde-haired girl, they tie up the guy that saved her in the first place, and this guy gets ready to do some more graping, and Joe D'Amato says, I know what this movie needs. I know exactly what 2020 Texas Gladiators needs. 2020 Texas Gladiators needs a schlong in it. So without a shadow of a doubt, some bitch stands up in camera, unzips, that thing says, boing, right in the camera. It cuts, but you see his Gladiator. The rest of the movie, like, the thing about this is the dubs are particularly wild. Now, I love a good bad dub, but these were just, it was bad. I don't think they even tried to match up voices to faces. You got to see it. You just got to see it. It's, and the thing about this movie that's wild is it almost feels like it was a pick a scene, put it together type of thing. After the first 5 minutes, I feel like none of these scenes connected. It was just a bunch of random stuff. There's one part of the movie where these guys look like they're about to like play a little game of poker. Mind you, we're in a post-apocalyptic world, and you would think maybe a round of Texas Hold'em just to remind you of the old times is good enough. No, they play throw the bullet in the revolver and shoot yourself and see who dies. You could figure out how to win in that. And then after that, it's just battles after battles. It's bizarre. I think that the sci-fi action genre, mind you, I bought a bunch of these cheap on the Severin website for sale. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch all these in a row or if I need to space these out one every 7 months. This is a whole new world I'm entering. This 2020 Texas Gladiators Italian action sci-fi genre is wild. God almighty. I don't know what to make of it. Like it's really ruined. It's ruined my night and also made it because I feel like I just opened Pandora's box to a whole new world that I didn't know existed. God, this is wild. I don't know what else Joe D'Amato has done, but apparently he's done a bunch of these crazy-ass movies. And so now I can't wait to watch them, but I also can wait to watch them. For what it's worth, 2020 Texas Gladiators, it looked really good on 4K, you know, if that helps. I don't know if I can recommend people this or if it's more of just like a, oh, you got to see this kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, it does have an interview with a director, and they have an interview with Goretta. Yeah, interview with actress Goretta. That's her name on here. It's right here. So, guys, I don't know. This isn't necessarily a recommendation, but I guess I'm just documenting that I watched 2020 Texas Gladiators, and now I'm going to go stare in the mirror for 7 minutes straight without saying a word. God bless Joe D'Amato. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.